And welcome back to Daily Wrap. I'm Joe Concha along with Rick Unger, Heather Hansen, and Brad Hirschfield. As Baltimore erupted in chaos, the cable news networks predictably went all in on the coverage. But as we found out, real news reporting was replaced by a lot of speculation, a lot of it. Let's start with CNN. As helicopters circled Baltimore, Wolf Blitzer provided his astute commentary.
Not over here, checks cash. You see another store. People are running in. Maybe they're stealing money from this business where people could go in, get debit cards, pay their bills, and get their checks cashed. And people are just running in there. Why did the police, Tom Fuentes, retreat in a situation like this? You see that ATM machine, presumably they're going to come out with some cash. I don't know what's going on over there, but I don't remember seeing anything like this in the United States of America in a long time.
Where's
now, if you're wondering how Wolf Blitzer ended up with a negative score on Celebrity Jeopardy, you may have our answer. So Wolf is saying that you could get money from a place where they cash checks?
They have it on, you go in and it's on the shelves. You can pick, there's 10s over there and there's 20s here, and you take as many as you want. What in the world? He's never seen this before in America?
Let's give him some slack. He's new. Been on the air for 59 years or something. Well, anyway, let's hear a little bit more from CNN.
We don't want to give them a negative example by constantly parading this violence on national television in a way that will encourage them to join into it.
But you would think, Billy, if we're showing these pictures, these individuals, these young people, whether they're Crips or Bloods or the Black Guerrilla family or there are other individuals, they know eventually the police are going to get there and start making huge numbers of arrests.
And William Murphy, he is the attorney for the Gray family, admonishing basically Wolf on the air, who did not have a good day. Well, instead of talking about why the protests were happening, CNN just pointed out the obvious, asking, where are the police? But instead of reporting on that very question, Wolf was acting like he was a viewer at home yelling at his TV. All right, Rick, it doesn't seem like CNN was helping the situation very much.
That was really entertaining. I didn't see that last night, but that was extraordinary. No, obviously they weren't. Look, you know, this is actually a serious issue that you have to take a look at. Those who are rioting for the purpose of stealing, looting, things like that, they love the media attention. It feeds the whole thing. It brings people down there. The more people that are there, the safer they are when they want to bust up a store. This is always an issue, but at the same time, we got to cover it.
Heather, it's amazing. Saturday night, there were the protests that were getting out of control, and CNN wouldn't dare cut away from its 6 hours of coverage of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, just for a hope of getting a glimpse at Rick Unger.
And I don't think they did.
No.
I don't think they did either.
No cameras near the bar area.
You know, live television is about moment-by-moment coverage. It's different than investigation. It's different from investigative television, and it's different than the investigation that is supposed to be happening by the prosecutors with regard to the crime that happened here and what happened to Freddie Gray. So it's just the nature of the beast.
The bottom line is that during Ferguson, cable news last year in 2014 saw its highest ratings. So suddenly, riots, rate. So when they heard this happen, boy, CNN and then almost every news organization, easy ride from New York on the Excella down to Baltimore, and now that the whole gang's down there, and it's not making things better. Well, I pointed out in my Mediaite column today that Fox News has two very different programming entities: straight news coverage via programs like America's Newsroom, Happening Now, Real Story, Shepard Smith Reporting, and opinion offerings like the O'Reilly Factor, Hannity, Outnumbered, and The Five, and so on. Usually Fox separates these two types of programs completely. In other words, you don't see O'Reilly and Hannity anchoring election night coverage, and you don't see Shepard Smith on the couch during Outnumbered. But here's a Fox News man, the aforementioned Shep Smith, appearing on The Five with Greg Gutfeld.
If we want to turn this as a nation into something that will rile up the races, then we can do that. But it seems prudent to listen to the two sides who are more insistent that this is about you have a way, we don't have a way. And then once you get to this point where you get no answers for 8 days after a man died for looking at somebody, 8 days later, people almost feel like they have a license to ill. Well, today, they took that license to ill, and we can only hope that police officers and juveniles don't end up dead.
And Greg Gutfeld, who's an opinion guy on The Five, responds.
That sounds really disturbing to me. It's almost as though you're justifying this action, Shep.
I am in no way justifying anything. I'm telling you that if you forget history,
I don't
if you
forget history.
where this comes from,
I'm looking at something that's really ugly right now.
it is ugly. And history tells us that when a group of people feel so helpless,
They don't riot when they feel helpless. Not everybody
eventually,
riots, Shep.
They don't, but eventually history tells us they do.
Okay, that was awkward because you had a straight news guy being forced to give opinions and then being challenged on his opinions. And the bottom line is the straight news guy should never be talking to the passionate pundit. Well, today my advice apparently was taken because today Shep simply reported during the 5 without any interaction from the host. So the power of conch strikes again. Anyway, coming up next, Dr. Ben Carson has a request for Baltimore parents. What is it? Find out next.